Hello and welcome to another Arkeys video and to a new 2 million credit time trial on Gran Turismo 7. We are at Nurburgring Nordschleife 24-hour layout, the longest track in the game, one of the trickiest tracks to learn as well, and we are in Group 3 cars. I've picked the Porsche for this one, and this is not my first impressions. I did my first impressions live on stream. You can go and find that if you want to watch me crash and burn a bit. This is from my VR run from later that evening. I spent a couple of hours, maybe even 3, I can't remember, doing this. Since then I have beaten the time I'm going to show you in this video slightly, but we'll go with this one. And this is not a lap guide, let me get that disclaimer out there, but I will talk about things I'm trying to do and failing to do along the way. So let's get straight into it. So first of all, coming down the straight, as we are braking for turn 1, remember that after we turn right, have to turn left, and you will be surprised how much you have to slow down. I miss the corner quite a bit here, but you have to get really close to that apex. I've managed to do that on other runs, but not in this one. Here I'm using a bit of second gear to keep the car rotating back up to third, and you have to brake almost immediately coming into this right-hander. Yeah, but this is also about just getting some laps in, because otherwise you'll go completely insane, restarting. I chose some points of the track where I told myself, okay, if it's completely crap before you reach this point, then just restart it. And yeah, just to make sure you get all the way around, because then missing that apex as well, then you might avoid it getting really painful if you get the first 50% of the lap down and then you just mess up the rest of it. You have to try to do as much as possible all the time, and then you can start getting picky with the first couple of minutes of the lap. And yeah, we have the easy chicane for this one. If I remember correctly, I braked too late for this one, so I'm running a bit wide. That's not supposed to happen, but now we are at the Nordschleife. In fact, I feel like the Grand Prix circuit is my weakest part of this layout, but let's see how I do here. You can actually go flat out coming down here. Remember to brake early enough for this, because you both have to brake and shift the weight of the car. I almost go full power slide. That's not what you're supposed to do. And also this bit, make sure you get the car slowed down. If you overcook it, it costs you so much time to get the car sorted, and it's downhill and blind corners. And remember, this was done, yeah, you can see that at the top corner of the screen. This was actually done in VR, and the big picture you're seeing, that's just the replay footage. So yeah, it's easier to judge all those hills and bumps and stuff. And coming down here, we really have to be careful. This left-hander coming up, you can do it flat, but you really have to turn in just at the right time, because otherwise you just end off the track to the right. Brake just around where the curb on the left starts and get the car around this corner. And here we've got a long flat out bit where you can really build some speed, because it's really downhill. But the thing is, you have to be careful as you come up the hill, because now we have a twisty bit called Adenauer Forst coming up. Dropping 1 gear, down 2 more gears, and all the way down to first gear. Try to keep the car to the left side so we can swing back to the right and get a decent exit out of here. This can all be done better, but that's sort of the idea. Here there is a bit of a tricky corner, a bit hard to judge, but I use 4th gear to make sure. No, I normally use 4th gear, I use 5th gear in this one. I normally use a bit of 4th to just get the front end in. Coming down the hill into this fairly sharp corner, make sure you don't overcook it. I overcooked it slightly. And then we are coming into this sweeping left to right corner. And then we've got miss, hit, miss. You're supposed to hit the middle apex there. I almost got it. And this, I usually break it up into 2 braking zones so the car doesn't turn around on me. Really slow corner, this one. And the car can get a bit slidey on the power coming out of that one. I'm braking roughly at the end of the curb there and make sure the car doesn't run off to the gray stuff there. Almost trying to let the car coast into that corner. I almost lost the car there. So easily done. This is the part of the track where Niki Lauda crashed, if I remember correctly. And here I'm using, there's a small sign on the right you can use as a reference for braking. And this corner is important because it's the long straight up the hill and you just need all the speed you can get. I am just revving the Porsche out in 5th gear. If you go up to six gears, like it's losing some speed, so I'm just staying in 5th. And after this long straight, we've got a very scary corner. I cannot remember the exact name of it, but it's something about bravery. The Porsche is nice through that corner. It's fairly easy to keep it in check, and you can keep it flat here, and soon we are coming up to a hairpin leading up to the carousel. I'm braking just before the start of the curb on the left just to be sure. And now the carousel, and that's just all about keeping it on that concrete bit. It can be a bit tricky, and then you can try to get an exit out sort of like that. The car can run away from you there as well. So this is a long floating part of the track, flat out here, down to 4th gear, coming into this one, and maybe even down to 3rd. Yeah, I am not doing this as fast as you can, but it's also a bit scary. Here you have to make sure you don't come in too fast. You have to brake before you turn left, so you don't end up running off the track to the left coming down here. I am maybe braking a bit too late. No, that was okay. That was another lap where I braked too late on that one. And this is YouTube corner. We're coming into, or Brünchen, maybe it's called. I'm not sure. So don't trust me on that one. Also just letting the car coast into the corner. And this is a tricky one, but make sure you slow down, and then you can straight line this bit, use a lot of that part of the corner. Soon the car will take a short flight coming off this jump. Make sure you are on the brakes before you jump off there, because otherwise you'll just go off the track. And this is flat out, this is really fun in VR. Coming down this hill you can really feel the elevation there. And now we are approaching the end of the lap. I am struggling to find a decent marker for that corner, so I was basically just trying to do what the Ghost was doing. So easy to run off here. I actually overcooked that. I think I lost quite a bit of time there. And the mini carousel, I hate that one. You have to be careful. I almost went off the track coming out of that, because you are coming on the power. And this corner is important. All about not coming in too hot, because you want to build up speed throughout the entirety of that corner, because you need that speed coming down this long straight. The long straight also gives me some time just to talk a little bit towards the end of the video. Those of us, including myself, who are barely hanging on to gold at the moment, we most certainly have to go redo this again. I know that the time of this lap is just barely hanging on to gold as we speak, and this is Friday, the day after the time trial opened. I have improved my time already in another run. I will link that. But we are about to finish this particular run, and coming through the final corners, make sure not to bin it, that would be just too annoying. And we are about to cross the line in 8 minutes 17 seconds, 0.723. My current time is 8 minutes 16.282, but it's a work in progress. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think about this time trial and how you're getting along. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.